And at some point, I'll basically be like, I'll point at the camera, and that's when I'm rolling the intro. Whenever either A, it makes logical sense, or B, makes comedic sense.
Okay.
And it just creates a solid flow throughout without having to stop. The good thing is these cold opens, or whatever you want to call, help provide that first 30 seconds of entertainment that people demand from the YouTubers. So yeah,
that
is what it is. It is. Like, there's even a stat that tells you the percentage of people watching 30 seconds in. Like, that's how big a deal it is.
Nah.
Which is why, like, I cut the Cantina's intro down, and almost everything else has a cold open. So yeah, fun.
You're
right?
not.
Ooh, classic TV.
2336. You're not getting that from me. It's just not. It's not happening. Like, maybe in the afternoon, maybe in the morning. I could do it in the morning. I'm on the downslope of my whatever.
Big man or little Coke.
Gonna say you're in your downslope for sure. Where is my oh, I hadn't we're good. Don't worry about me.
I haven't podcasted with Jones.
Don't worry about me
ever. It's gonna be a blast and a half. We're both half asleep. And like, a cat's
I'm
here
all
to
set,
help,
guys.
All right.
Oh, yeah, you do have your kitty. You guys
Kyle,
ready?
what kind of shirt are you wearing, Kyle?
Dr. Stone.
Oh, okay, nice.
Real Captain America.
The real Captain America.
Well, current Captain America, even though the Variety article won't call it that.
I mean, is he the current Captain America?
Variety doesn't think so, but Chris Evans sure does.
I feel like Captain Britain is the new Captain America.
Captain Carter. They didn't even give her the chance to use her country name.
She should.
They didn't want to confuse us.
Captain Britain. Well, I think they're gonna use a Captain Britain maybe in the
future.
Oh
yeah, I saw that rumor.
I think they're just a placeholder for Henry Cavill. Come on, man.
Oh, you guys.
Which Superman I'm fighting?
No, not.
No,
yes, no, maybe so. You're ready? You guys want to do this?
Let's do it. Okay.
Well, then let's.
Hello and welcome to Breaking Geek Radio, the podcast, the premier flagship and international podcast of LRM Online and sleepy people everywhere. I'm Brandon Jones. I'm tired. I'm here with Nick Dahl, and this is my first show hosting back in a while. So hello from the land of the morning calm. This is going to be fun. This is going to be interesting. We're doing a Breaking Geek Radio, the podcast classic edition with the addition of Kyle on the ones and twos. Gentlemen, how y'all doing?
Good. Tired too, but for opposite parts of the day.
Opposite reasons. You're taking
opposite
off
sides of the world.
I'm landing.
Yeah.
Let's see how it goes. So on this week's show, we were going to do, we'll see. Well, maybe we'll meet in the middle. Energy levels, hopefully. This week's show. This week's show is going to be interesting because I wanted to see Nope to be able to round out a couple of things. Couldn't make that happen because unfortunately AVs was like, no, we're not going to show Nope for more than one weekend. So there's only one showing of that movie. I didn't think it did badly. I should have looked that up. I'm really curious.
It's his third highest opening weekend. Like, I mean, like not in order, but his third time he's been top of the box office for the weekend.
Yeah,
that makes sense. So, yeah,
it does. And what doesn't make sense is that I can't see it today. But then I'd seen Gray Man last week and had an opportunity to talk about it. And Nick, you got to see it this week, and we're going to talk about that a little later in the show. In addition,
did you see any Harley Quinn?
No.
Oh, okay. I saw that. I could do a Watchers.
Okay. In addition to that, we've got some trailers. We've also got some news from San Diego Comic-Con. So, you ready to get into it, Nick?
Let's do it.
All right. We have got, $44 million opening. That's pretty good for a non-sequel and a non-franchise film. So, yeah, thanks, Kyle. Again, AFES. Fuck's wrong with you? Between that and having to stand for the anthem, every time I watch a movie, I need you guys to get your shit together. Like, right the fuck now.
Wait, you have to stand during the movie before a movie for it?
Before.
Right before
Whoa, I didn't know what you guys were talking about.
Yes. Every U.S. military installation will play the anthem before their movies.
Listen, you get your kids there, you get your popcorn, you get your ass settled in your fucking chair, and they're like, please stand. You're like, fuck you. Like, it's not fuck you the anthem. It's fuck you because like I was very comfortable like half a second ago. And anyway, yeah. Moving on now. We've got 3 trailers. These should be fun. First up, we've got Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. So this one is starring Ewan McGregor. I'm really looking forward to this one. It looks very different than the Disney version. And as somebody that grew up watching Pinocchio as a kid, it looks like they're taking a much more serious tone with this one. Nick Dahl, that you get a chance to see this Netflix Guillermo del Toro December release.
Yes, I did. And when I talked to my sister about it, the first thing she said is, I said it's from Guillermo del Toro, and she's like, "Oh, is it a horror version of Pinocchio?" And I was like, "No, but
Maybe.
It does. It's still like Pacific Rim, like it's still like a creature feature, like in a way." Because one thing I noticed.
Rim? What's Pacific Rim about this to you?
Well, I mean, like it's more of that kind of movie as far as it's mainstream. It's not like the ones they tease in front of it, and I realized why they teased them were Pan's Labyrinth and Shape of Water, the ones that were nominated and won Academy Awards. So I definitely think they're going for at least the animated Academy Award. But I just thought Pacific Rim it's more audience friendly than like, it's not a horror film. I still assume it's getting a PG, but it definitely is a darker take on Pinocchio. The only reason I compared it to Pacific Rim is that that's a very mainstream Guillermo del Toro movie that's aimed at making lots of money compared to like Shape of Water.
Okay. Maybe releasing on Netflix. We'll see what that's intended to be.
And it comes out theaters in November 1st. It has like a whole theatrical run, like a week or a month before it comes out on Netflix. So looks scary. I love stop motion, but sometimes stop motion does creep me out.
It looks heartfelt. Like it looks like it has some actual drama to it.
It's like it's gonna be sad compared to other versions of Pinocchio.
Yeah, so we'll see. I'm looking forward to it. I like Ewan McGregor stuff, and I like Guillermo del Toro stuff. So we'll get it together. We'll see.
I didn't even. Is Finn Wolfhard voicing Pinocchio? I couldn't. He's like the youngest person in the cast, but I couldn't tell if that was his voice or not.
I assume. No, Candlewick. Is that also what they would call Pinocchio in this version?
They called him the Wooden Boy.
I'm trying to look it up for you guys. I'm trying to look.
I just remember, the trailer is almost entirely
Gregory Mann, and I don't know who that is. Yeah,
Man.
Because instead of Gregory Mann, there was a picture of Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's weird. Maybe he's a young kid, and the parents just don't want the face out there. I don't know.
I do like that. It is called Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, and he actually directed it, so it's not that Tim Burton's Nightmare Before Christmas garbage, but a way to signify it's not. Well, that's like it says that it's like the title at the end. It's like Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, not like a film from Guillermo del Toro, which reminds me of Tim Burton's Nightmare Before Christmas, which is so misleading because he didn't direct it.
So I've got IMDb up here, and they have the voice of Candlewick as Finn Wolfhard.
Right.
Candlewick is the name for Pinocchio.
I don't know, but there's
They
also
call him the Wooden
Pinocchio
Boy.
by Gregory Mann. So I was confused by the Candlewick thing as well. Jonesy, not familiar with Pinocchio, so I just threw that out there for you guys.
And then my sister's other first reaction is like, "Oh, the Disney live action one." I'm like, "No, not yet."
No, something public domain, right?
Yeah.
So hopefully get some more interesting public domain stuff. But I like that this one's coming from a director that I like. So we'll see. We shall see. Ready to move on?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. You sure?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. We also have Oppenheimer, which is coming from Chris Nolan. This film's dropping in 2023, and it stars like everyone. It's got Cillian Murphy starring in the role, and it's a teaser, right? So we didn't get a lot from it, and it is enough to give you a sense of like a stylized version of it, like the fact that it was in black and white. There's a part of me that assumes that that's what the movie is going to be,
Yeah,
as
I
well,
wasn't
as
sure.
opposed to this just being, yeah,
Because the
with him,
rest of it's
hard
color.
right? Yeah. So maybe there are going to be time jumps. Maybe there's something. It's hard to say. And we don't, to the best of my knowledge, we don't hear from Cillian Murphy. So we don't, I'm sorry, Cillian Murphy. Been saying it wrong for years. Cillian Murphy. We don't hear anything from him as part of this teaser trailer. So I'm curious what kind of voice, what kind of accent he's putting on to play Oppenheimer. But Nick, what'd you think of this trailer?
I mean, it reminded me very much of the original Dark Knight trailer where you're just seeing the bat symbol and there are like explosions going off behind it and dialogue. But I felt very fitting for this movie. Though if you know nothing about the history of who Oppenheimer is, you could watch that trailer and be like, what's this movie about? Is the earth on fire? Because it's not like a typical mushroom cloud either. It's very zoomed in on the atoms, not literally seeing the atoms bursting, but talking about the power of the sun in the palm of my hand. And see what I did there? And that kind of thing. The cast is incredible, obviously. You got not only Robert Downey Jr., but you got Jack Quaid, who's one of my favorites from Lower Decks and Scream. I just excited to see him in any cast.
You skipped over Matt Damon,
everyone great.
Emily Blunt, Florence Pugh.
I love Jack Quaid.
And you're like, Jack Quaid.
Jack Quaid, dude. He's my
Lower
boy.
Decks, baby. The boys.
Scream, no, Lower Decks, the boys.
He's not your boy. He's the boys.
He's the boys. I like that.
Like, fuck all those other people.
I'm definitely going to be playing with time. Like the trailer is already like showing time at the bottom of the screen. And obviously we expect no less. And one of the tweets I saw about it is Nolan's first step in starting every script is how do I work funky time into this movie? And I even, when it was announced, I even said like, what's it going to be? They're going to do the countdown. And every time they say like 5, it's like I cut to part of his life and then 4 and like cut to another part of his life. So I'm excited to see I'm excited about the story and the cast in general, but we'll see how weird it gets as far as Nolan-y. Your thoughts?
When you said funky time, I immediately imagined like Prince or oh man, name just jumped out of my head. But I imagine like some funk player playing when you're saying definitely not Jack Quaid. Yeah, that's what I thought of. It looks interesting. Yeah, I like the stylized approach. I'm curious what he's going to do with time. I feel like when it comes to nuclear physics, there's any number of things that you can do. So, and I like the stylized approach, but more stay in the time. That's what I was thinking of.
I was gonna say that, but I was scared. I was scared to say that one. But that was
it's better than Jack Quaid, right?
Hey,
yes,
you would have been close.
Jack Quaid's the boys. No, I do want. I assume it'll be in black and white. Maybe just a little bit of Schindler's List. We'll get like nuclear bomb will be like the only thing in color or something.
That sounds cool. I like that. Explosions.
Yeah. Color explosions. Changing time. Maybe it's really a time romp where a nuclear bomb tears a rip in time and it's a time travel adventure that has nothing to do with the real life events.
Or a time heist.
Exactly. That's why Robert Downey Jr. is there. It's the secret reappearance of Iron Man.
Ready to move on to the next one?
Yeah, good trailer though. I watched it multiple times just to like get a feel for it.
Really?
Okay. like
Interesting.
twice. I watched it originally and I watched it before the podcast, but
Okay. Next up, we've got The Samaritan, which is the one that I think of the ones that we have. This is the one that I'm excited for the most. It is basically the easiest analogy that I can make is Stallone's Unbreakable. This is a hero that has retired and is found by a young teenage boy, and supposedly Stallone's character Samaritan died 20 plus years prior, and now he is resurfacing again. And there's something about the trailer that I really like. I think this is going to be an Amazon film. I could not find the release date in the.
They put it at the end. I think it's August. Well, first of all, they say this summer on a trailer that came out during the summer, which was like, okay. Right. I think it's August 27th. That's a guess on that exact date, but
like the very end of the summer. This is,
yeah, this late summer.
Yeah. Let's see, 26 August. Yeah, they're like,
I was off by one day with that guess.
That's got to be like the last. What is the last day of summer? I want to know.
Well, they do a lot of. Sometimes Hollywood considers September the last month of summer, like not the whole month, but like, and summer and fall doesn't start until like October 21st or something in like the way summer actually works, not the way Hollywood classifies summer.
Yeah, I was going to say most Labor Day is the end of a lot of summer events and summer season. So that would be the
23rd,
Monday before the 6th of September. So the
early
4th
September.
and 5th. 4th and 5th would be the last weekend, so to speak.
Who knows what's coming out then?
Sometimes I hate localization. I'm trying to Google something, and the first answer was like, "Here is the song, The Last Day of Summer." Like, no, motherfucker. When is the last day of summer? and then it's like, in Korea, the last day of summer is September 23rd. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna stab you. But I get angry when I'm sleeping. Man, this is just. Anyway, I like the trailer. Nick, what did you think of the trailer?
I'll watch it because it's free and it's at home, probably for the podcast. I really didn't. When I saw it, just there was a Stallone superhero movie. I'm like, oh, great. And I watched the trailer and it was the same, like sarcastic, like, oh, great. Like, this looks fine. Like, it looks super generic. It looks like more a Netflix film, as Jammer would say. The element I do like about the most. The element I do like about the most is the idea that it's kind of a Dark Knight Returns old man Logan thing where he's been out of it for 20 years. Yeah. Like the scene where he heals the first time is pretty funny. And just funny. Even having like the kid sidekick, not like a sidekick, but the kid being the one excited about it, I think gives it more energy than a generic. Otherwise it looks pretty generic where like he resurfaces and then like some old villains are like, we got to find him and kill him. And I guess this is the next step for him. He's done Marvel. He's done DC. Might as well do his own superhero movie. And obviously, Amazon actually has a lot of success with their superhero projects. And I hope this one's rated R like the Judge boys.
Dredd before.
That's true. Judge Dredd isn't a superhero. He's a comic book hero, but he's not a superhero, I would argue. He's just one of the many judges. It's a fine line. This one, he actually has like super strength and healing, and I do like the whole part about losing. He's lost a step because he hasn't been working out or anything. He's like, I'm just a garbage man. So I'll watch it. It just didn't. The other two were more exciting.
Didn't strike your fancy.
Probably because the other two were a Nolan movie and a Guillermo del Toro movie was probably the difference.
I've kind of gotten out of the getting excited about Nolan movie business. Unfortunately.
I liked his last one. So unlike most people, I just don't care for like Dunkirk and I really dislike Interstellar, but
I like Interstellar. So his last three movies, to the best of my recollection, you can correct me if I'm wrong. Dunkirk, Dark Knight Rises, and Tenet. Right?
Interstellar wasn't after Dark Knight Rises.
Oh yeah, it was. No,
I can't remember. Dark Knight Rises.
Oh God,
it's 10th. Dark Knight Rises came out 10 years ago, because they were a theater shooting. It's been its 10th year anniversary, and it's hard to deconnect those two from my brain. Working at a
so
movie theater,
Interstellar was
Dark
14.
Knight Rises.
Dark Knight Rises was 12.
Yeah. So yeah, his last
So,
3 were non-franchise.
Didn't like Dunkirk. Didn't like Dark Knight Rises. Didn't like Tenet.
I will just say that I didn't like Dunkirk. I like Tenet, and I like Tenet's new name.
Did you like Dark Knight Rises?
Yeah, not as much as the other ones. I don't hate it like you do.
Oh man, it's a fucking terrible movie. It's actually the 10th anniversary of it as well. This past month, it was released exactly 10 years ago this month.
I said that just because I remember they were advertising the Aurora, not advertising. NPR was like 10-year anniversary of the Aurora Theater shooting. I'm like, that means it's also the 10th anniversary of the Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah.
I was at a theater when that happened, just a different theater, same brand.
2 tragic events inextricably. It's no good.
You're laughing at that joke, but it's true.
Don't laugh.
I already did. It's too late. Kyle, edit.
No.
Really.
I'm just gonna post a picture of my dark humor meme.
Do it.
Anyway, I like the Samaritan. Looks good. Christopher
I'll
Nolan.
watch it. Even without the show. If we weren't doing it for the show, I'd still watch Samaritan. On this day and age, there's no reason not to watch Netflix original. I mean, Amazon original. So, in my genre space, not overall.
Okay. So since we talked a little bit about Stallone, let's move on from trailers and talk a little bit of news. There is some news happening in the Rocky space. So a couple of things happening. The first is that, unfortunately, Creed 3, which is going to be directed by Michael B. Jordan, has been delayed. It was supposed to drop originally in November of 2022. Now it's moving to the first quarter of 2023. No reason was given as to the delay. I'm kind of disappointed. I was looking forward to seeing the third film in this. I think Jonathan Majors would have been, it's not like the movie's canceled. He would have been like a fantastic villain for Michael B. Jordan, a great foil. So I was really looking forward to that.
Oh, is that the casting?
He's the casting. So he
oh
is
my
somebody
God.
that has the physicality and the acting chops to go up against Michael B. Jordan.
Well, I know why it's
Creed
delayed
film.
then. He's a little Jonathan Majors is a little busy probably showing up in a bunch of movies that he hasn't been announced for in a particular universe.
I guess.
That's just an excuse.
If that's true, I'll be annoyed because I've been wanting to see him show up and he hasn't. And now him showing up is delaying something I really want to see. So I'm hoping that's not the case, but you might be right. We'll see.
I mean, I'm sure he has
but yeah,
time for other
no
projects.
reason given us that delay. But if you are a fan of this universe, we also have news that there is another potential Rocky spinoff coming. They're actually writing a Drago film. So there isn't really a lot being spread about this. But if you've ever seen the second Creed film, then you also got to see Ivan Drago and his son Victor Drago in the second Creed film. So if it follows from that, it'll be kind of interesting. It's also interesting that given the time that we're in, they're going to make a film about Russian protagonists, which almost kind of gives you a hint of it. Like if they put it in modern times, what this movie is going to be about.
I assume it's modern. Creed 2 is modern times, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like it's not like this universe, which I like that Rocky's become a universe. Because Creed, I haven't seen the Creed movies. Definitely seen more like a sequel.
You haven't seen the Creed movies?
Do this. No, the first one's directed by Stallone, right?
Jesus Christ.
Then Ryan Coogler did the second. It'll just be you alone.
The second? Oh, wait, the second Creed.
Yeah, second Creed is directed by Ryan Coogler, right? The first one is directed by Stallone?
No.
Oh,
Coogler
he did them both?
First one.
Oh,
Coogler
okay.
did the first one. Who did the second one? I don't remember who did the second one. It is
And
not
Michael B.
somebody that
Jordan's
I'm
going to do the
familiar with.
third.
And Michael B. Jordan's going to do the third.
It's
Who did the second?
Stephen Capel Jr.
Yeah, Stephen Cable Jr.
So,
Yeah, Cable.
There you go.
Yeah,
Sorry about the name.
I don't know. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Clearly, Killian Cable Capel. Capo.
Silly.
We'll call him Capo.
Murphy. You're so silly.
Yeah. Whatever. I don't know a lot of Irish people. I don't know what to tell you.
He's doing Rise of the Beasts, but by the way, Transformers Rise of the Beasts. Yep.
Really?
I just see that on his Google page.
That's a live action Transformers movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's the kind of set in the 90s follow up to Bumblebee. They're doing that really dumb it appears they're doing that really dumb Fox X-Men thing where every movie takes place 10 years later, but the characters only age 3.
I was thinking about that in the car the other day. I'm like, that would have been cool if there was no connective tissue between them. Because that's how comic works. They're the same age in the 90s as they were in the 60s when the comic was created or whatever.
You know what would really make it work? If the robots were the main characters, you wouldn't have to fucking worry about it.
I'm sure.
You call a thing Transformers and make the Transformers the main characters, and who cares if the humans age? Because whatever. Man, cantankerous. So yeah, there's that. So yeah, if you are a fan of the Rocky films and franchise, there's a little bit of bad news, but there's more down the pipe coming. So yeah,
I assume we'll get Dolph and the younger, his son, I assume, is the character in the Creed 3.
I assume there was not a lot of news about it. So but yeah, we'll see.
It is an interesting choice, bringing up the Russia part. But yeah, I have never seen a Rocky movie or a Creed movie, so
yeah,
not much to add.
You're fired,
except
Nick.
what a terrible person. Yeah, just
sports movies.
Oh my god!
So here's the thing: I am somebody that I dislike watching sports generally because I think they're boring. But movies add the element that, at least to me, is missing. It's the drama. It's the literal drama. That's what I like. So, there is this. Dolph Lundgren was interviewed last year by the Hollywood Reporter. He talked about the fact that there was a Drago film in the works. It was weird. Can't believe I missed that. He said, by the way, I think there's some talk about a whole spin-off on Drago with MGM. So you may get more of that. And I'm trying to remember when the MGM deal with Amazon went through. Was that before?
Yeah, this is Amazon. No, it went through. It went through recent-ish. I don't know how long ago the interview was, but in the last few months is when it was actually closed.
Yeah. So Drago movie is now
closed as of. Oh, sorry. Closed as of. It was announced last May 21, and it was closed in March of this year.
Well, okay. Put it on Amazon. Like I said, I'll probably watch it.
Just slap a Bezos oven on it. It's done, baby.
Yeah, let's put the Bezos name on there, and it's like, yeah. I don't think they ever say that, but from executive producer Jeff Bezos presents. Yes, all the movies he makes should be called that. Even Lord of the Rings, like Jeff Bezos is Lord of the Rings.
So what's sad about that? People were really excited about that until there was a picture of him draped over the signage.
That was the dumb.
Fuck it, I'm out. I'm done.
I like the trailer for that. I wasn't here to discuss it if I ever did discuss it, but
still,
I saw that picture and it's like Jeff Bezos as Golem. That's what they said about the subtitle on that because he is just hanging out above the sign. Yeah. Good for my boss or former boss. I don't think he works for Amazon. Literally.
He is Amazon.
Well, he's not even he gave up CEO. He just makes all of his money still from it. Yeah. He's been to space. He sent Shatner to space. I think that was Amazon.
It was.
Shatner in space.
What else we got? You ready to move on?
Yeah. Like I said, I don't have much to say about anything Stallone, apparently.
That's fine. I can be excited enough for both of us. Good. So we at San Diego Comic-Con, we got a bunch of news. I'm curious, Nick, what was like the number one thing for you that you got out of San Diego Comic-Con?
The Avengers, two Avengers basically back to back, like just a few months away from each other. And I'm guessing from different directors, unless they just don't want to announce that the same director is doing both.
Okay. Why?
You think if it was, well, why? Well, first of all, I mean, it's been a long time since the Avengers film. If you're asking why the Avengers is the most exciting part. And second of all, Secret Wars, I mean, the Kang Dynasty, probably similar to Age of Ultron, Kang's your main bad guy. I'm sure it leads into Secret Wars with another cracking of the multiverse, which we have seen, but we haven't seen yet. Like Kyle and I on Marvel Multiverse Mondays.
Excited about the thing you were excited about.
Well, I'm still excited, but Kyle and I discussed on Marvel Multiverse Mayhem about how Ant-Man, the director's like, this is going to change the multiverse forever. And it's like, yeah, you've said that 4 times. You haven't changed anything. But I assume that'll crack everything wide open.
It's a Disney movie. It's like Disney's first gay character, right? Now we've got this is Disney's first cracking of the multiverse every time. Say it every time.
Disney cracks the multiverse. No, but I think Secret Wars
Disney
will be a
cracks homosexual representation in films again.
I just think Secret Wars
should be
is
like
a great story.
The Steve Jobs of representation. Like, we thought we brought you representation before, but now in the iPixar film, whatever. Sorry, go ahead. You were saying Avengers.
Secret Wars is a great story. I mean, it has to be handled with care, but it's the best way to bring in the X-Men we know, not just mutants in general. Because they have to have a history. Like, you can't just be like, here's Magneto and Xavier. They have to have some kind of history going into it. So it'll be a way to combine planets, battle
Nick,
world
who are
style
they
or whatever.
Thinking about to get to play Professor X?
I've heard that might be Giancarlo Esposito.
Oh, wow. You've been practicing.
Well, no, because I've wanted him to play Magneto for years. And some people say he should play Doctor Doom. But in fact, we talked about that on Marvel Multiverse Mayhem. If you want to listen, that my ideal Magneto would be Giancarlo Esposito, and you'd update the origin to involve the civil rights movement, because you can't do, unless you're doing some kind of multiverse time change, as Kyle recommended. Like, they're from an earlier timeline in a different multiverse or universe, I guess. Then you need to move away from World War II eventually. Otherwise, he's 100 fucking years old, like next decade. So,
yeah. I agree.
I think civil rights movement would be a cool update to it. So I always said, it's hard to picture Giancarlo Esposito as a good guy. So I said he should be Magneto and Denzel should be Xavier. It would be awesome.
I don't know. I feel like now that you said that, I'm curious of a Denzel bad guy as Magneto. That'd be great. Like, he has to do like the pointing on the desk, and I don't know. I can't do a good Denzel, so I'm not even going to try. But I like when he gets angry, he like points at the desk and like he's telling Professor X, he's telling like, Charles, nuclear holocaust. I gotta do it. I'm gonna practice.
You gotta do a whole show as Denzel if you start practicing.
Yeah, I gotta do it. I'm gonna do it one day. Not today though. Anyway,
also the Spider-Man show is interesting. I think just that it's in a different timeline. Yeah, it's I like the idea that it's in a different timeline. Mostly because of just kind of playing on an alternate history where it's, he comes back to the apartment before Civil War, and it's Norman Osborn sitting in his living room. And at first I was disappointed we're not like getting a prequel to Civil War or Homecoming. But then I'm like, but now they can just reuse whatever supervillain they want. They can have a Green Goblin that's not from a different dimension. And I
think for me, it was like, hey, I know you didn't like Tom Holland's Spider-Man, but here's more Tom Holland's version of Spider-Man. And like, I guess I've seen Spider-Man cartoons before, so it doesn't do anything for me. But I feel like I'm going to be the opposite. I'm going to be a little bit downer. So the director so you hinted at the fact that we know the director for Avengers 5. That's going to be Destin Daniel Cretton. He is the individual who directed Shang-Chi, and I am of two minds about this. I liked 90% of that movie, but the 10% that I
Agreed.
didn't like of that movie really made that movie significantly worse. And that wasn't a direction issue, that was a script issue. I thought that that was a really good film. I really enjoyed the story, and I enjoyed the relationship between Shang-Chi and his father. Once they were like, here's some dragons and here's all this other stuff, and let's go to, and I can't remember like in my head, I keep hearing Shangri-La and Kunlun, and it's like, what was the name of the actual place?
I don't
But
think
once
it
they
matters.
got there, like I was completely lost.
Training
Like, I just didn't
montage.
care.
It's too
Yeah,
much
training
CGI
montage.
characters flying around.
You know what was funny? I was watching Iron Man 2 the other day. I totally forgot. I was wondering. So Trevor got some guy,
It's
and
Iron
I
Man
couldn't
3.
tell if he actually, I'm sorry, 3. Did he actually shoot
No.
that guy? Or
It was a
okay.
set and the guy fell off camera.
Got it.
It was
I
all
was gonna say,
scripted, and he was an actor,
remember.
not a murderer. I'm an actor.
That's right. I didn't watch that part. What was I watching it on? It must have been on TV because I got up and walked away or something. I'm not accustomed to having cable anymore. It's weird. But yeah, I'm happy because he's a competent director. I hope there's somebody that tightens up the script so we don't lose drama for spectacle. And in this, it was like bad spectacle. So the fact that this Avengers film is going to bleed into Secret Wars is interesting for a couple of reasons, right? So we know the Russo brothers have voiced this is their dream project, but they've also said that they don't want to direct 2 of those back to back. So this gives Marvel an opportunity to give them their dream project without having to do that.
And yet they said this week, right, that they weren't involved, or are they playing coy, or
yeah,
they literally said that.
I mean,
they were like,
no.
we're not doing Secret Wars.
Feige came out and said that they wouldn't be the directors of the upcoming Avengers films. A lot of people are trying to read into upcoming. Does that mean both of them? Does that just mean one of them? And I would just say that I honestly think that the movie, the majority of the story will be more like the 2015, 2016 Secret Wars book versus the 80s. But I think the battle world and the setup will be more like the 80s. Neither one really works on their own for a movie. So, and the whole multiversal thing and the incursion that happens in the 15-16 series, I think that makes more sense for this multiverse saga. So take that for maybe they really just wanted the 80s version. I don't know.
Yeah. And it gives you an easy in to bring in, like you've already talked about, the X-Men, but also the Fantastic Four, which we got a little bit of news about as well. So what we found out from Kevin Feige is that this would not be an origin story for the Fantastic Four. That this is going to be other people. I can't remember if he said it or if other people said it. They're comparing it to Spider-Man in Civil War, where it's just like, no, here's your Spider-Man. He's semi-developed. And it'll be interesting to see if that's the same thing that they do with this. The question I guess I had for you, Nick, is do you think after the fan reaction to John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic that they will not cast him as Reed Richards?
I think, especially with this news, I think they will cast him. If it's not an origin story, he can be a little older. Maybe even they have the kids already. And it's interesting you say that you think they'll be brought in using Secret Wars because their movie comes out at the beginning of Phase 6, and Secret Wars wraps it up. I guess are you assume if that were the case, you would assume the movie's not in 616?
Yeah, I guess I totally forgot about that. You know what I was thinking about? The fact that they had lost the director, and I hadn't heard anything about it. But I guess that's an easy thing to fix because that was John Watts.
Yeah,
was supposed to be directing that. Which
would
makes
have
that
been
Spider-Man
perfect,
comparison even more apt.
I think it would have been perfect for it. He's good at the more family-friendly Marvel movies.
Yeah.
First family, Spider-Man. Yeah, I think they will just because of the age thing. And I mean, Feige says it was just to please fans to bring him in even for a cameo. In fact, I read that him and Anson Mount were brought in so late they didn't even have costumes for them. So those were full CGI costumes.
Were they really?
Everyone else had real costumes like Captain Carter and everyone, but they like Green Lantern. Well, they do CGI costumes all the time. All the time travel costumes were CGI costumes in Endgame.
Okay. I did not know that.
I think because there's not an origin story and people freaked out. I mean, people have always wanted that was a fan cast to excite people in that movie, even if they do a different variant of Reed Richards. I think at this point they're gonna go full Olivia. Wait, who's his wife?
Emily Blunt, the person you skipped
Emily
over
Blunt.
when you were talking about Oppenheimer.
I think they'll go full Emily Blunt and John Krasinski.
How did you get so good at Giancarlo Esposito? And you're like,
because we practiced that for months. Remember, I was like, I was making fun of myself for not being able to say the name. I was overdoing it, but no. Remember, we practiced that for months with Jammer. Where he's like Giancarlo Esposito, which I just took too far. Well, I'm most excited you. Out of all of Comic-Con, doesn't have to be Marvel, but all I saw was the Marvel stuff because the DC stuff was so.
Henry Cavill excited me the most about Comic-Con.
The part that never happened.
Part that never fucking happened. Yeah, I was super excited for him to show up and be like, "Hey, behold all of my Superman projects," and they were like, "Fuck you," and I was like, "Fuck you too." So
it's. I did like The Rock's comment, or Dwayne Johnson's comment.
Whatever.
It's like, did you fight Superman or whatever? He's like, it depends on who's playing Superman.
What does that mean, though?
I think he wants Henry Cavill to stay in the shoes.
He should have said it. And I think that's the most frustrating thing to me. Like, I hate what they're doing over at DC.
I said shoes or the boots. I added that. Sorry. You hate what they're doing at DC, huh? I wonder. That must be a very rare opinion.
Yeah, it's just super frustrating. It makes no sense. I mean, I guess I just hate it from the sense like you have these people who have done nothing wrong, seemingly getting fucked, and you have people who have done wrong.
And that's what's interesting about the DC thing is they didn't show anything from The Flash or Aquaman because they wanted to not talk about the movies where people had done wrong, and still star in these movies.
Which is actually kind of surprising that, given how close we are to San Diego Comic-Con, the fact that Ben Affleck has been revealed to be in Aquaman 2.
Yeah.
Afterwards. Like, you had an opportunity like a week ago
to bring Ben Affleck out.
I mean, he's probably on his honeymoon. I get why you didn't bring him out. But certainly. I mean, congratulations, Batfleck.
I'm okay with it. Even though he's returning, and maybe that's why he's returning in that too. Is like, these are the two movies with toxic actors. We got to get Affleck in. He's already in The Flash. We got to get him in the Aquaman too.
Yeah. And it kind of gives me hope for his character. It's weird. They're like, yeah, we're retiring his character, and he just keeps popping up.
He was the one who wanted to retire it too. Like, that was his. Yeah. Do you think we'll get a Justice League with him, even if it's not Zack Snyder's Justice League 2? Because he keeps us, like, he said he's never going to play him again because it made him an alcoholic and he had to go. Well, that was mostly the stress of writing, directing, and starring as Batman. Do you think we will see him continue to pop up to a point where he's in a Justice League film?
Yeah,
I would be definitely okay with that. I'm a big fan of the Batfleck.
Yeah.
So
I'm curious. DC needs to do something, right? And so I think the majority of people that I know liked his iteration of Batman. I liked his iteration of Batman. I didn't like what Snyder did with him, but I liked him as Batman.
Agreed. So. Then going with the Henry Cavill thing, I read an article this week. Who knows how recent the source was, but it's like Warner Brothers just doesn't know how and wants to make Superman like likable in the modern age. And, you know, in my head, I'm like, do the Captain America thing. He's a Boy Scout too, who wears the flag and Superman's, wears red, white, blue, but not the flag like Homelander. It's just like, do that. But then someone's tweet this week was like, you're telling me Ant-Man's getting a trilogy before Superman? I'm like, yeah, the world has changed quite a bit in 20 years.
Yep. I used to say I can't believe there are like 3 or 4 fucking Fokker movies and I can't get the stuff that I want. But
is there a fourth? Yeah, there is a fourth one. No.
Yeah, they're like 3 or 4. Whatever. Can you milk me, Greg? I have nipples. I missed something. I didn't miss it. We kind of like glossed over it because we were bouncing around. We talked about the Fantastic Four, and we also got a trailer for She-Hulk. This one I thought was better than the one previously. Some of the textures look better. Kyle and I were talking about that. It does still look a little wonky, but we got a better idea of what the story was going to be. We also got a hint at a Daredevil cameo. I mean, it wasn't really a hint. It was
there.
Like, it was him. It was him. It was like, here's his old costume. It's him. What I wanted to ask you was, do you think that we're also going to get a Ben Grimm cameo in here? Because the director was talking about the fact that this show will feature a lot of cameos. So Jessica Gao was talking about the first season and that they're going to get a lot of cameos.
Do you think maybe they would do a cameo for a character? Well, again, feels like we would have heard an announcement for that. Like just announcing it for Fantastic Four. Like they announced Jonathan Majors for Ant-Man, and then he was able to pop up earlier. Unless you do a real generic Flash like cameo where they don't even have an actor assigned. It's just CGI, what he'll look like in the MCU. Well, why did you bring up Ben Grimm? What connection does he have to She-Hulk?
They just hang out sometimes. They just be hanging out.
She be hulking around.
Yeah.
I really like the fourth wall breaks. Yeah. Fourth wall breaks, they said, would also bring in a lot of cameos. So that might be interesting. And we'll see. I expect to see Jessica Jones.
Kyle brings up an interesting point. He said they announced mutants in Ms. Marvel with spoilers for Ms. Marvel. But they announced mutants in Ms. Marvel with no notice. People weren't watching that a lot either. So, I mean, spoiler again, because you probably weren't watching it. My bad.
Like there's people right now that have no idea that mutants are now officially part of the 616 MCU because they didn't watch Miss Marvel. They cut out halfway through if they even started it.
Make a better show. We don't have to worry about it.
I like that show. Nick likes everything except for the Eternals.
You like a lot though, right?
Everything but the Eternals and Incredible Hulk.
Yeah, you're like a T-Rex, right? You're like, I like that lamb. It's like, well, what don't you like? Right? Like,
I like meat.
That's right. That's you. It
is.
So yeah, I thought it was a better trailer. I'm looking forward to it. So Ben Grimm, no, yes, no, maybe.
I don't think so. I think if we see a lot of cameos, there'll be people we expect to come back, but haven't come back yet, like Jessica Jones or like Luke Cage. Ones like that haven't been confirmed.
Lawyers need investigators.
Exactly. I think something like that is more realistic than, or even just other Marvel heroes we haven't seen yet, but no one like the size of like a Fantastic Ben Grimm, not literally, but like, not like a member of the Fantastic Four suddenly being there, but like, hell, I'm sure that's not there. Spider-Man would be a dope cameo. So he's more likely a cameo in a Daredevil show. But Feige did list him and Daredevil as the street level heroes right now.
Spider-Man?
Yeah. They're going to be our 2 street level heroes moving. He technically is in the comics most of the time. Just the movies have been giving him Avengers level threats. And multiverse level threats.
Okay.
He's just a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man from Queens. Always saving the world completely.
Seems like. Yeah, and Kyle brings up another good point. You could just do ADR, just have a CGI Spider-Man, have him do the voice, the boss.
No one knows who he is anyway.
No one knows who he is. No one knows who he is. Who knows?
Because I could just see him stopping on the rooftop scene with Daredevil and being like, "Who the hell are you guys?" And then just swinging away. Maybe Nick Fury.
Away. Yeah, that would actually line up, right? Maybe a Coulson. I want a Coulson cameo.
We need more Coulson. Well, he's not alive in the MCU unless I do Secret Wars.
You know, you got your multiverse though, baby. I don't know. I miss Coulson.
Coulson variant.
I guess what I was thinking of, I remember they did the one shot where they briefly mentioned the Abomination. They were like, "Where's the Abomination?" He's like,
yeah,
he's buried. He's buried out there.
Maybe Leader or someone.
Leader be a good one
because he's been teased and we haven't seen him since Incredible Hulk.
Yeah. You really didn't like that movie?
No, it's just hard to remember it's even in the MCU.
No.
So no, I do not like Incredible Hulk.
Doc Samson's good. Wait, so your inability to remember that it exists?
Well, it just doesn't feel.
Is the reason that you don't like it.
No, it's just I don't know. It's better than Thor 2. I guess I should put Thor 2 below it. That movie's only saving grace is having Loki.
I mean, it is. Yeah, it doesn't feel like an MCU film because it is like literally at the beginning. It is the second film out the gate.
So when they were allowed to have more style and not they all look the same.
Well, not even just have like this is like, hey, are we going to be able to make another fucking movie? Like that's kind of where they were in the MCU. So
I made the comment and it was cool. It was like it's nice to see the Hulk clap back for the first time since Incredible Hulk.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll probably rewatch the Hulk someday. I mean, I've seen it more than like 5 times. It's not like the Eternals, which I've seen once, but
and wish I hadn't seen it all.
No, it may brought up another good point. Semi on sub. It's like, so the Eternals happened when, and no one in any movie has brought up the fact that there's like this giant being like sticking out of the earth.
Or that some giant being like showed up and was just like, hey, what's
just up? Looking.
Just looking. Just perving on
everyone's Earth. Like, just like when they turn the sun back in Moon Knight, everyone's just like, we live in a fucked up universe. That's weird, but as long as they ain't attacking us, I don't care.
Yeah, I'd be annoying. I'm sleeping here. Like I just
sleeping.
God damn it. Fuck this planet.
This damn universe.
Yeah, get me out of here.
I think to the Rocky universe.
The Rocky universe.
The Rockyverse. Because that's apparently a universe now, as we discussed.
Is that Kang? What the fuck? I think the other thing that stuck out for me this Comic-Con is probably the last thing that I'll say, unless you have other stuff to talk about. The Black Panther trailer, I am of two minds. There's like a fruit fly in here, it's killing me. I'm sorry. And like I keep grabbing it like a cat. I'm of two minds about it. It is a very well done trailer. It evokes the feels, it strikes the right tone, but the thing that I don't like about it is it also feels exploitative. You are like, I don't know how many times I have to watch this character die. And
yeah, because what if?
Yeah, what if? And having to mourn the real life individual, now have to mourn the character again, makes it hard. And there was a way to do this where that wouldn't be the case. And I'm frustrated that they've gone the direction that they seem to have gone.
Do you think it's a possibility? Again, this movie's a ways off that they use Secret Wars to bring in a new T'Challa.
Yeah, I think
especially with the fan backlash of like recast T'Challa, which is still going on even though the movie's shot.
Here's the thing. There is an opportunity to do it later. But again, at that point, you didn't have to kill him to do that.
Mm-hmm.
there was any number of ways that you could say like, oh, everybody got snapped back or like something, or there's something that you could have done to within this universe, we were just talking about how crazy this universe is, right?
Yeah. Or even
you
just
didn't have to kill him.
Just do a recast. Like they've done that before, which makes Incredible Hulk disconnected for me. But in the example of Rhodey, it was an upgrade.
Yeah. And there was a rumor that Kyle just brought up the fact that T'Challa's son was going to take over in the future. Like, to me, that is a patch as opposed to a solution, because for me, the character of T'Challa is what I wanted to see again, not necessarily like his son take over. But yeah,
his son that we're not even aware of yet.
Yeah,
like they'll reveal in this movie he has a son or something. Do 20-year jump.
Yeah. So and what I don't like about that is I think Shuri does deserve a shot at the crown. So now you're going to jump forward in time to take that away from her.
I definitely think and assume I assume she's going to be our Black Panther.
Yeah.
In the film. Because that makes the most sense comic wise, and just like, yeah, she's royalty just like her brother.
Yeah. So I think that, yeah, I don't like the way that feels. I don't like the way any of this feels. So
I like the trailer though.
Yeah.
It's an interesting, it's kind of it's a very interesting movie to end a phase on. Whereas like Thunderbolts ends phase 5, and that makes sense because it's kind of an anti-Avengers movie. This one must have giant a big battle between Wakanda and wherever they're using instead of Atlantis. I don't remember what it's called. Like then again, they've ended phases on Ant-Man films before, like the first Ant-Man, but that just felt kind of tacked on, and the real ending was Age of Ultron. Just phase 4 seems like a mess.
Yeah.
It's like, where do we end it? Black Panther.
Yeah, I don't like it. And the funny thing is, we were talking earlier about The Dark Knight Rises. I think part of the reason I don't like that movie is because I know that the plan was to bring back Heath Ledger, and they were like, that was going to be a very different film. And that was a film that seemed like was significantly impacted by Christopher Nolan's grief.
Well, you think it might be a similar situation with Ryan Coogler?
This is a similar situation. Like, not just for him, just for the cast as well. And so I understand why those people were either hesitant or reticent to recast their friend, someone that seemed like that was their friend. So I get that.
You just think the movie might suffer because of the
and not just the movie suffering. Like it's just
it'd be weird.
It's hard. It's hard. So yeah.
Wakanda forever. But not T'Challa.
Yeah. Not happy about it. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah.
Moving on. Brief announcement. Rick and Morty, season 6, baby. This is the pick me up I need coming off that story. So September 5th of this year. I'm sorry, no. September was it is. It's September 4th.
Not quick.
So September 4th of this year, we will get the new season of Rick and Morty kicking off. That cool. Beggars.
Nick, DC. Okay, we're good. Never mind. You had frozen, Jonesy. Sorry. You're good. Carry on, guys.
Oh,
you froze for just a second.
Just a second. I wish this announcement had been accompanied by a trailer, but beggars can't be choosers, and we get where we get. But I'm looking forward to this. I love this show. It's super fun. So
I haven't seen the last season yet, just because I don't. Is it even on HBO Max yet? They put them out after the season ends, which is why I didn't know if it was out on HBO Max yet. Well, then I'll be watching it today.
It was
probably in the
probably
entire
right there
season.
next to Harley Quinn.
Probably. I would definitely watch. I definitely would say I prefer Harley Quinn over Rick and Morty, but I love Rick and Morty, and I like Lower Decks now better than Rick and Morty. They're tangentially connected, but yeah. And I like Solar Opposites, but that dropped, and I watched like half an episode, so I'm definitely more excited for Rick and Morty.
I couldn't get into Solar Opposites at all. Like I tried, and I just.
Yeah, but no, I love my adult animation. I'm excited. I just need to get back into it. I fall out of a show and just need to like watch an episode and be like, oh yeah, that is one of my favorite shows of all time. So, and I do like this announcing stuff like a month before it happens, even if there's not a trailer. Like Netflix does it all the time, where it's like, hey, this is coming out next month, and it's like, oh, I love that shit. Like, or even like Only Murders in the Building, like. It was like announced like we knew it was being made, but like the month before it came out, they're like, hey, next month you get more of this. It's like, thank you for not telling me that 6 months in advance with the trailer. Thank you for being it's like a few weeks away. So
yeah, that is nice.
Same with Harley Quinn. That snuck up on me. I saw a tweet that it was already out on Thursday, and I was like, what? And I watched it.
Well, I'm curious. I gotta look and see when Harley Quinn went off the last time. Like this.
It's been a long time.
This is almost exactly a year between. For Rick and Morty? No.
No, for Harley Quinn. It's been years. Rick and Morty, they're getting better at being fast. They used to have like 2-year gaps or longer for some of their early seasons. But like Lower Decks is usually less than a year gap, but it's very similar animation style. And from a guy who co-created Solar Opposites with Justin Roiland does Lower Decks. This is his main show. So, and that's this month also, just the end of this month. Oh, are we still in July? The end of August. So yeah, did Jonesy freeze again, or is he just that upset about things?
It looks like Jonesy froze. Uh-oh. And he dropped. He's gone. And now he's back. He's back.
Hey.
Struggle is real.
Up with you. You need to get a better internet in South Korea. Unless it's a cyber attack by North Korea.
No, the internet is good. It's that the house is too big. So I need extenders.
Gotta get that mesh system, man.
Oh yeah.
TP-Link decos. Not endorsed.
So I actually have, so this is the thing, I actually have a TP-Link, the one you plug into the wall, but for whatever reason, it is.
No, you need a full mesh out setup, not just an extender. You want to look up the deco mesh systems. I'll get with you offline.
How the sauce is made.
Offline. So let's move on from Rick and Morty then and talk about the thing that I don't really want to talk about. Nick Dahl, you saw The Gray Man. You enjoyed The Gray Man.
Not as much as Danny, it sounds like, though.
Danny's on some other shit. I don't know what the fuck's wrong with him lately. Like that's the best way I can think of to describe it. But anyway, he liked this film. You like this film. Don't try and wiggle out of it. You like this film.
Oh, I liked it. Yeah.
They're going to give you more of it. So they're going to give you a spinoff, and we're going to get a sequel to this. Like shit. But
Netflix is like all in on the most expensive movie we've made yet.
Yeah, I was going to say they clearly spent a lot of money on this, and like it shows. It shows that they spent that much money on this. I just don't care. I don't care about the characters. I don't care about, like, Chris Evans was probably the most enjoyable part.
Which I hope the spinoff is about him, and I assume the spinoff is about him. Because
want a prequel of a dead guy? No thanks.
Spinoff. I was gonna say spoilers first, but in these kind of movies, the villains usually die, so it's not like Chris Evans is gonna be in the sequel unless he's like a cyborg fucker or something cool. I don't know. I just like
sounds very
Ryan Gosling a lot. Like the day after me and my roommate watched Gray Man, we popped Drive-In, and then we popped Nice Guys in, even though we'd both seen both of those. It's just Ryan Gosling, Ana de Armas, Chris Evans, Russo's. It's a recipe for good.
I get it. You're glib. I get it.
But I will say I enjoyed it less than I thought because, they're coming off of my 4 favorite Marvel movies because I never saw Cherry. I was like, how will they fare outside the Marvel universe? And it was like, this is kind of what Jammer said. It looks like a very Netflix, like it's called The Gray Man, but it's like Winter Soldier, like the color palette is gray. Like, and it looks very much like a Netflix movie. The fighting I thought was really well done, but of course that is I'm sure they have the same fight coordinators as Winter Soldier. So I thought the strongest point was they really disarmed people in most scenes so that they could do hand-to-hand fighting.
Yeah.
Which was fun. And yeah, Chris Evans, just give him a mustache, let him go a little rogue. That definitely improved the movie. But yeah, I guess I'm all in on a sequel and a spinoff, though. If it's just about the Ciara program, the spinoff and the sequels, they have to have a new wacky villain because Chris Evans is the highlight. Just like Knives Out, Chris Evans and Ana de Armas were the highlight of that film.
Yeah. And I feel like if I want that fix again, I'll watch that movie again. But the thing that we do know for sure about the Gray Man sequel is that Gosling is returning, as are the Russo brothers. And this one I think is going to be written by Stephen McFeely.
Who wrote the first one with Marcus, right? What is it? The writing duo, McFeely and they wrote all the event. They wrote all
they're.
You muted yourself.
You got the name right. You got the name right. I can't remember the first name. Marcus and McFeely. Steven, one's Steven and one's Marcus or something like that. I'll look it up.
But they wrote all the
Stephen McFeely. I know he's coming back to write.
Yeah, they just mentioned him in the news, and the Russo brothers are co-writing or something. Right. Maybe.
Man, hopefully they can tighten up the fucking ending of the sequel because that's like that movie.
Christopher Marcus.
Oh, okay. And Stephen McFeely.
No, see, it's one of those 2 first name people. Fuck that. That's why
Lord and Miller.
He's not worth being remembered. So yeah, I really didn't care for the end of that movie, and it
very generic plot. I'll also say
it wasn't even just generic plot. Like, all right, we'll do spoilers for any of that movie. I didn't understand why she's like, yeah, I'm going to keep using it. Well, first of all, I didn't like her character to begin with.
Ana de Armas?
No, Jessica Harwick. Is it Harwick?
Henwick.
She
the CIA agent?
Yeah, all of that stuff at the end, I was like, you're just a terrible character. She shoots both of them for no reason.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Ryan Gosling got shot.
What? Yeah, she's like, I'm going to keep using you because you're too good at your job, but I'm also going to shoot you in the leg because you don't fucking need those to be good at your job. And then the whole thing, I hated Rachel Jean's character. You're supposed to hate him, but I hated him because of the bad writing where he's like, I went to Harvard. Like 3 times. I need to hear that he went to Harvard. And I was like,
I really enjoyed the joke though about like you don't go to Harvard to play football. And Chris Evans is like, I wanted to be different.
You know,
they're both Harvard grads.
You get one. Yeah. Just say it one time. That could have been the time that we found out that they both went to Harvard. Instead, I had to hear it multiple times.
I was like, I'm the youngest person to come to this position because I went to Harvard.
8 years.
All the Avengers are calling. Actually, an important call, but
you have an important call. Do you have to take it?
Yeah, I kind of do. Sorry.
Oh, did they hang up on you, Nick? Did you miss
What's happening? He can't hear you.
He missed his call.
I missed it.
I was coming in to take over.
I missed it.
Never mind.
They're gonna leave a message, and I'm gonna call them back, and I won't be able to reach the same person, and it's gonna be a mess.
So yeah, none of that made any sense. And then there was no comeuppance for anyone. No one. Except for the character that I liked. I mean, I didn't like Lloyd, but I liked watching Lloyd.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, no. Yeah. Anyway.
All right. I don't really have a lot more to say about that movie either. It was a fun couch movie. I would have gone to theaters for it because of the directors and the cast, but better on the couch.
And that's the thing. I can't imagine how upset I would have been if I had seen that shit in the theater. But yeah, that's that. Anything else? Anything else you have to say
No.
about this, that, or the other? Any of the other news that we've talked about?
No.
No.
I'm
Me
good.
neither. Kyle, are you good as well?
I'm set. I'm happy.
Copacetic.
Yeah, I've
All right.
got a very nice long list of timestamps for you guys.
Excellent. How the sauce is made.
Hopefully there's some information about a mesh in there because I need that. So, anyway, so dear listeners, if you like what you heard, do all the socials, like, rate, comment, subscribe, share, jump on the Discord, tell us how much you loved Gray Man so I can block you or something. I don't know. Yeah, LRM has other great podcasts and articles. We're also on LRM Online and on the Genreverse Podcast Network. But other than that, Nick Dahl, where can you be found?
At Geeky Nick Dahl on Twitter and Instagram, and on Marvel Multiverse Mayhem on Thursdays. And right here on Breaking Geek Radio, the podcast.
And you can find me not using my social media on at Sir Jones East. I just haven't lately.
But Discord, you'll find us both on Discord.
Yes.
You've been on that
I'll see.
a little bit, so.
Is that social media? Is that just chatting? Is that the same?
Everything's social media, man. Even when it's not media.
You know what? It is social, but is it media? You know what? I don't know. I'm gonna have to look that up. I'm really curious.
Social media
Anyway.
3.0.
Thanks, Kyle's on the ones and twos, and we will catch you on the next one. Hasta lasagna.
Don't get any on ya.